Hey Limitless Nation, today you're in for a real treat. Today you get to learn directly from Kristine Drummond. Kristine Drummond is the owner and founder of the Fearless Moms Club. She is on a mission to help mothers all over the world become fearless, step into their own limitless dreams, and to go after their goals and accomplish them with vigor. Being a mother herself, she knows firsthand the struggles and difficulties that come with motherhood, and she wants to pass on to others the success secrets that she has found that make all the difference in the world to raising a family, to being a mother, and to really finding your passion and mission in life. She does all of this while raising her own children to live meaningful lives. Kristine Drummond's mission is to make a difference in this lifetime that impacts generations to follow, and she has done this by teaching the next generations of mothers how to live a truly limitless life. In today's masterclass, you will get to learn directly from the master herself, Kristine Drummond. Let's dive into it.
Before you dive into today's masterclass session, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. It allows you to receive notification bell every single time we provide you with the content that allows you to live a limitless life. Now, if you want to go deeper on learning on how you can hunt your future, make sure you download our masterclass session at huntyourfuture.com. It allows you to know exactly what you need to do to hunt your future. Plus, we are also going to share with you tips and tricks on what you need to do to live a limitless life starting from today's forward. Now, let's dive into today's masterclass sessions.
Hey, welcome Kristine Drummond.
Thank you, Donovan, for having me on the show.
You're most welcome, and I'm excited to have you here with the Limitless Nation viewers watching us.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm ready to get stuck in. Bring on these questions.
All right. Well, we start each and every single interview with a limitless quote. So do you have something that you say or think to yourself on a daily basis that helps motivate you to get you through the day?
I actually do, and you can probably see it over my shoulder there, Donovan. It's a plaque that says the greatest pleasure in life is doing what other people say you cannot do, and it absolutely drives me every single day.
I agree. So it's almost like, to paraphrase it, it's almost like, and I'm not advocating revenge, but the greatest revenge is massive success.
Yeah, I like success to be my noise. I don't worry about the opinions of others anymore. And it's not that I've got anything to prove to anyone. It's more that I've got something to prove to myself. And I want to see what this body, mind, and spirit is capable of.
I like that. So you're always striving each and every single day to be better than what you were yesterday.
Absolutely. It's a journey of self-evolution, and it never ends.
I agree. And now, can you share with the Limitless Nation a time where you may not have been on your best performance? So a time where you may have run into a setback, a challenge, a failure, or just a plain obstacle that caused you to step back and think a little bit more.
Oh, wow. There's so many. There's a lot of setbacks all the time in life. And, you know, one of the setbacks that became my driving force was having children, you know, and a lot of people will say, well, that's a bit harsh. They're not a setback, but they are. Your whole world changes when you have children. You know, you have this picture of your life before they come along and all the things you want to do. And then it kind of gets turned upside down when little people come along and they're fully dependent on you. But now, Donovan, they are my driving force and they're my greatest teacher. And, you know, I do things for myself first, and then I do things for them second. And they, honestly, to leave a legacy for those two and to have the courage to raise a gentleman of the future and an independent woman of the future is what I see as my role now, and raising the consciousness of other mums out there as well. So I wouldn't have been on that journey, and I wouldn't have found my passion, my purpose in life had I not had these two beautiful little beings enter my world.
I agree. I can't exactly say from personal experience because I just can't say from personal experience, but I can say that I agree that having seen people who have children and who don't have children, it changes the dynamics of what you can do. It's almost the equivalent of, and I'm not trying to compare children to this, but it's like if a single person went out and got a pet or a dog, you now no longer can travel the world unless you're taking that animal with you, or you have arrangements for that animal to be taken care of. Just like having children, you have to take care of them or have some way to plan to take care of them.
It's so true, mate. And you can't just jump in the car and drive down to the shops anymore. You've got these little, and there's been a few times where I've actually forgotten that I've had kids. And I'll jump in the car to take off, and I'll be like, oh no, that's right, I've got a little person I've left at home. So, it does change the whole dynamics, but it makes it so much more fun. And you've just got to get resourceful, exactly what you said. Look at the resources that you can tap into around you, who can be there that can help support you, take care of them if you do need to travel. I do a lot of travel, and I'm just so fortunate that I have a beautiful mum and a beautiful mother-in-law that are there to look after my children. My hubby works away, you see. He does the fly in, fly out thing. So we've got to be really, really organised with our schedule and our resources. But anyone that has had kids will agree with me that you've just got to manage your time a lot better and have some systems in place. And if you can do that, then things just seem to flow a lot easier.
I agree, because discipline is what helps around everything and connect everything together. Now, in speaking of a little bit about discipline, but also going back to, I think you talked about it briefly, what would you say is your aha moment that, because in some aspects, I can agree that having children is definitely a challenge. It's nowhere near a failure, but it would definitely be a challenge. So in your aha moment, how did you find a way to really, basically, after this challenge, finding that this was a challenge, how did you become more proficient and efficient to get to yourself to the next level?
Yeah, I love that question. And if I can go back to my aha moment, it actually involved my daughter. She was 2 years old, and I went to her Special Persons Day in her daycare. And I was just shocked to see hardly any parents there. A lot of mums and dads had to drop their kids off and go to their full-time jobs. And I was one of the only mums there with a few grandparents. And there was kids crying, bawling their eyes out. And I can still see their faces peering through the fence, hoping that the next face they saw was their mums or their dads. But these kids were devastated because other people had their special person there. And I remember taking my daughter aside that day, and I made her this promise that would never, ever be her. She would never ever feel alone, and mum and dad would always be there for her special moments. And I've held true to that promise because I'm an entrepreneur. I have 2 businesses that I run from home, and I am in control of the hours that I worked on event, and I'm very proud to say that I've been able to create, multiple 6-figure a year incomes from these businesses that allows me the flexibility and the freedom to be there for my children's special moments. Their dad misses out on a lot of this because he does work away. He's working in Papua New Guinea at the moment, and he's missing first days of school and things like that. But it's these magic moments that I live for. Like, I want to create the experiences in life. I want to have a fun, adventurous life. I don't want to put my dreams on the shelf for anybody else's. I want to live a big life, and for me to do that, then I need to be the example. And I feel like the greatest gift we can give our kids is to pursue our dreams, because that then gives them permission to pursue theirs. So for me, that's what I'm doing. They do vision boards with me. They help plan trips. They get to help design their homes. My daughter, she's already picked out the house she wants on the Gold Coast. It's under $1 million, but her and a friend, she's only 7, by the way, her and a friend have already picked this house. And and I'm not here to crush that dream. Like, if that's what they're going for and they want to own that house, and hats off to them. I love that they've got that vision and that drive. And to see her little entrepreneurial spirit, she's sold things on the street. She's done lemonade stands. She does all the bottle collection stuff, and it just lights me up to see, that next generation having a crack, and I feel like that's what's missing out there. We're all caught up on our phones and social media, and never before have we been so connected as a race, as a world, but we're so disconnected at the same time. And I really feel like if we can start getting back to raising our own vibration, leading ourselves first, being the example, being disciplined, as you said, that's going to have flow-on effects to our kids, to our kids' kids. And, we're going to be able to raise the consciousness of the planet and all vibrate higher and have more kindness and things like that. So I know that's a big, long-winded answer, but that was basically my aha moment that really got me stuck into being an entrepreneur and turning it into a career so that I had that flexibility and freedom so I could be there for my kids. I've spoken to other people, other parents that were never there for their children and they really regret it. You know, they're looking back and they feel like they've missed a lot and they can't get those times back. You know, so I don't want to be that parent.
Right. And from the sounds of it, it sounds like your kids are taking off right after yourself and they're becoming successful versions of you, in that they understand now, or you have passed on to them, these skills and tricks and secrets that it takes to become successful, so that they don't have to wait 20, 30 years to find it out for themselves.
Oh, totally, mate. And this is something like that you can't do overnight. You can't change your kids' mindset overnight. Like, this is like, since day dot, I've been, you know, putting positive inspiration in these kids on a daily basis through the books that we read. That, like, my daughter reads some self-development books, you know, books around love and Buddhism and being kind and things like that. And you know, we have gratitude every night at our dinner table, and these, it's just compounding now, and it takes time and it takes a lot of effort and energy, but it's so worth it when you see these amazing, kind human beings, you know, coming out the other side. So yeah, I absolutely love being a parent. I didn't think I would love it as much as I do, but now I feel like it's one of my callings in life.
All right. Now, what is it that you're working on now?
Hope you enjoyed the masterclass session so far. Before we get into the second half of the session itself, it is very crucial for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I really don't want you to miss out on another masterclass where I'm going to share with you what other expert celebrities, Fortune 5000 companies do to become successful and live a limitless life. So make sure you subscribe right now, and every single time we upload a new video, you will receive a notification bell. This allows you to enjoy the masterclass on the regular basis. So make sure you subscribe right now. Well, as you are ready, let's get into the second half of the masterclass session.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things.
What would you say is the number one thing that you are the absolute most excited for everyone to know about, that they need to know about?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, well, for all the mums out there, I actually have a group called the Fearless Mums Club where I raise the consciousness of mums. You know, we really are the CEOs of the household. We are the ones that are putting the food in the cupboard, the food in the trolley, the food in the lunch boxes, and our food has flow-on effects to all aspects of our own individual ecosystem. So I love raising the consciousness of women and giving them the courage and the belief that they can, you know, really shape the future of the generations to follow. So that's one thing. And they need to know about my Fearless Mums Club Facebook group and podcast. So I can talk about that a bit later. But the other thing I would love people to know about is, you know, I think you interviewed my business partner a week or two ago, Joel Lord. Joel Lord and I, through JK Connect, have some incredible charity things that we're working on this year, where I'm going to be rollerblading a marathon in every capital city in Australia, and Joel's going to be doing 5 kilometres of stairs in every capital city of Australia. So we're raising money for an incredible charity. So that's a big thing that we'd love everyone to know about, and also, you know, jump on board and hear about that. But from a business perspective, I'm here to serve people, Donovan. I really am. Like, I see so many people pouring so much money, time and energy into self-development, business courses, you know, education, things like that. So what Joel and I have done is we're basically regurgitating the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've poured into self-development, and we've created this amazing online training platform because we want the everyday man and woman to be able to have access to incredible information and training of that self-evolution process. So yeah, we love to serve and help mum and dad businesses, entrepreneurs, small business startups, things like that. And through that business, we're able to have a greater impact and leave our legacy, but also leave the planet in a better way on all these side projects that we're working on as well. So I know you asked for one, but I think I just gave you 3. Sorry.
Perfectly fine. It means that you're active, you're continuing to grow, and you're not just growing by yourself, you're growing with other people as partners, as well as team players, as well as just in every sense of the word of growing. Yeah, that's amazing.
If you're not growing, you're dying, as they say.
That is true. That is true. Because there is no middle ground, there is no standing still in this world called life.
And it's risky, isn't it? Life is risky. No one gets out alive. So you might as well have fun and adventure while you're doing it.
Yes, yes. Now, as you just said, risky. When you started doing your businesses, which as you said, you're very successful. You have multiple ones that are generating 6 figures or more, and you've made a life for yourself that you have designed and created for yourself. But before or as you were starting to create those businesses, this life that you now have, what would you say was something that was holding you back from really becoming limitless?
I love this question, Donovan, and it's an awesome question that I don't think many people think about. But for me, I was shackled. I felt really shackled to my past. And I hope you don't mind me getting a little bit deep here, but from the age of 4, I was sexually abused by a man that lived with my grandmother. And this went on till I was about 16. And I used to beat myself up about it. I used to have the victim mentality. I used to blame everybody about it. And it was just this niggling thing that just kept holding me back from, really shining. I had so much shame around it, and embarrassment, and it was such a taboo subject. And then I actually went and did some work on it. And I went back to that event, that very first event, and I was able to turn something horrible that I perceived to be horrible and negative into a beautiful, positive experience, and I was able to then go from shame to shine. And once I was able to come back to that event and go, you know what, I'd go through it all again. I wouldn't change it. I'm coming from gratitude. And I just felt like a new person. I felt like this weight was lifted. I felt like the shackle was finally broken because I had this secret now that was finally out there and I could get on with my life. And I see so many people out there, Donovan, who have these things that have happened in the past. And even though they're not our fault that they've happened, it's our responsibility what we then do and how we react. So I've taken responsibility. I've dealt with it. Does it still come up and annoy me sometimes? Yeah, it does. But that's like anything in life, but I've managed to break through it. I'm now happier. I'm a better parent because of it. I'm a better human being because of it. And that was probably the one thing that really allowed me to step into my potential. And I haven't even scratched the surface of my full potential yet, but I'm on my way. And, I'm not letting anyone or anything hold me back anymore. And that, I don't ever want to be able to go into a room and have secrets, I want to be authentic and true. And I think there's so many taboo subjects out there and people are holding on to secrets and they're beating themselves up about things that they've done or haven't done or that they've said or haven't said. And it really restricts them in success, So I would say that that's probably been my my greatest gift and my greatest, I suppose, what would I say, the biggest challenge that I've had to overcome, because what goes on in your personal life affects what goes on in your professional life. And if you're not dealing with the stuff in your personal life, it will hold back you from being successful in your professional life. So I hope that through my story, it inspires some of your listeners, Donovan, to go, you know what, Kristine's right. I don't have to be shackled to this anymore. I can rewrite the next chapter. Your past doesn't have to define your future. You've heard all this before, guys. So yeah, I think that would probably be my my biggest triumph so far.
That is extremely powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Now, you mentioned, I believe that you mentioned not having to rely on others. Something similar in that vein, and that got me to thinking, what is a bit of advice that you yourself have received from someone else that you can now share with the Limitless Nation?
Yeah, I love that. And one of the greatest pieces of advice I got, and it took me a long time to implement it, was stop worrying about what other people think. Stop being externally influenced. You want to be internally driven. Don't let other people rob you of your dreams. How often do we have ideas and we share it with someone and they've got a totally different perception, beliefs, thought process, and they totally shut it down? and they tell you that can't be done or you can't do that. And it took me a while to start really overcoming that, because I was the people pleaser. I wanted to please everybody, Donovan. I wanted everybody to like me. And I would adjust what I wanted to say because I thought it was what that other person wanted to hear. So instead of saying what I truly wanted to say, I would alter it so that that person would like me. And once I let go of that, oh my gosh, it was so relieving. And it was probably the best advice that I've received. So now that I can just go out there with my true authentic self, do I always say the right things? No. Do I sometimes mess it up? Yes. Sometimes I talk too fast and things come out and I think, shivers, I can't rewind that now. What's already said. Right. But I think we all do that. And one of my biggest dislikes of society and people is people make one mistake and then they're bashed for it for the rest of their life. We hold them to that mistake. We don't ever let them forget it. And I think that's the worst thing we can do to someone's spirit, you know. And you see it with celebrities all the time. They make one mistake, and because they're a celebrity, they pay for that mistake for the rest of their life. And I would love to see a world where we're less judgmental, where we're more accepting of each other, and instead of looking for flaws, we look for potential. And that's the kind of world that I want to live in. So
I agree.
Again, another long answer.
No, it's perfectly fine. What you told me about sharing your dreams with people and getting them knocked down reminds me of what Steve Harvey actually says on his show, Ask Steve. He says, essentially, I'm paraphrasing it, if you want your dream to be knocked down, share it with a small-minded person.
I love that. It's so true, though, isn't it?
It is. Now, but in the process of getting to your dreams, you have to have a voice. You have to have your voice. You also have to have a process, or also known as habits. So what habits or rituals have you adapted into your life that have helped you maintain this lifestyle?
Yeah, I love this question, Donovan, and it's so important. I mean, I've read all the books on it, like the Miracle Morning, the 5 a.m. Club. You know, I've even got Brenda Burchard's book, and I know you're going to ask me for a book later. So this is the one I'm reading at the moment, High Performance Habits. And there's just so much inner work to be done in order for you to really, I suppose, expand your thought processes and grow as a person. So for me, I have it's like a tick and flick, I guess, or a checklist I do every morning. And the moment I wake up, I'm not hitting the snooze button and going, oh my gosh, like not another day. I'm putting 2 feet on the floor, and gratitude just hits me. It oozes out of me. I'm so grateful for this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then it's, I usually am out the door. I'm running, getting exercise. I don't run with my phone or headphones anymore. I'm just out there because I find that I have my most creative thoughts when I'm on that run. So I love to come back, and then I'm jotting down whatever thoughts, brain dumps I need to do. I do a quick meditation in the morning as well. I love to read my mission statement. My mission statement keeps me focused on my legacy that I want to create. And then I usually have a cold shower, a hot shower first, then finish with a cold shower just to wake up the nervous system and, you know, have that energy rush. It's better than a cup of coffee. So that's kind of like my coffee hit. And then it's basically connecting with the kids. You know, my phone's away. I'm connecting with my kids, getting them ready for school, doing all that kind of thing, nourishing their bodies. And it's not till about 9:30 that then I start in my businesses. And I'm doing the income producing activities first, and then I get to do all the creative stuff if I have time later. So yeah, that's basically the habits, but it's consistency. It's not trying to do 1,000 things. It's doing a few consistent things every day, and it compounds. And you know, it's not always perfect, and it has to change sometimes as we go through the different rites of passage in our life. But I love that I'm always tweaking it and shaping it and evolving, and that inner work is just so important. And throughout my day, I make sure, you know, I've got breath work in there, or I get out in the sunshine and shoes off and I ground myself with the earth and all that kind of stuff. I think it all helps, you know, energy out and then put the energy back in. So yeah, that's kind of my habits.
Wow, that is a lot of information. That's very open and very, very real as far as an exact process as to what you do from the moment you wake up to your mid-morning where you're ready to really start grinding in your businesses.
Absolutely. It's called, what I call it, peak resourceful state. I don't wake up in this energized state, Donovan. I really don't. There's a process to get me into this state. And sometimes I need to put music on as well, just to lift my energy, lift my vibration. And so I'm showing up, and I try to really visualize my day, and the impact and the intention for the day. And for this podcast and for the meetings that I've got today, I'm visualizing myself in the situation, in the event, and how I want it to flow, how I want to leave people feeling. So I just think so often we're just so caught up in the busyness of life, we're not actually taking the time to think about, well, what does the day actually look like, and how do I want to make this person feel, or what do I want to say, or how do I want them to feel heard, or whatever it is. So yeah, I think it's just like having that intentional thought in the morning can absolutely set you up for success, to help you. What they're saying these days is to win the day. If you want to win the day, you've got to have particular habits that get you into that peak resourceful state.
I agree. Now, while I'm thinking about it, how can the Limitless viewers and listeners get in contact with you to learn more about what you have going on, the programs that you have available, and just to connect with you?
The easiest way, I think, would be through Facebook. I am Kristine Drummond on Facebook. That's Kristine with a K. And you can find me on there. And then depending on who you are, I can sort of plug you into whatever project I've got going on. As I said to all the mums out there, I've got the Fearless Mums Club, which is just a free Facebook group with lots of recipes, fitness, parenting, lots of inspiration in there. And then we've got the JK Connect stuff as well. So yeah, find me on Facebook, and then I can have a chat. I love to collect friends, Donovan. So just come and be my friend. Come and hang out with me online, socially, virtually, and I'll make sure you have some fun.
Sounds amazing. Now, if you had the ability to travel back in time to talk to the younger version of yourself, what would you say to that person?
I would probably say, it's a really good question, actually. I'd probably tell her to probably be kinder to herself. Yeah, I think that's something that I've really, I am so driven and ambitious all the time. Sometimes I get caught up in the goal and I don't enjoy the journey, and I forget to take care of myself. So I think it would probably be, just be kind to yourself and nurture yourself, and make sure you're doing that self-love.
I agree. Self-love is really, really important. Now, I know you mentioned this earlier in the interview, but just to rule out and make sure that it is the one that you picked. In a hypothetical world, say you come home one day after a long run, and then you look in your library and realize that you have no books. You look at your phone, you realize that your bank account is almost at zero. There's enough money in there, though, to get one book. It can be any book, but only one book. What is the first book you would get?
This is a good question. I would probably say Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
I think it'd be Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. I think, it all starts with our thoughts. So I would probably start with that.
Good choice. Now, tell us again, where can the Limitless Nation viewers and listeners go to learn more about you, your programs, the processes that you have embedded into your life, and learn more about the secret skills to success that you help teach moms?
Yep, we can go to the Fearless Mums Club, which is on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. And we've also got a podcast called Boss Talks. If anyone out there is looking for success in their life, in their personal life, in their professional life, we have an amazing podcast as well. And we talk everything on that podcast, from health to parenting to success to business to money, relationships. We cover it all. So yeah, there's definitely lots, and people can plug into me any way they like, but you can plug into what I'm doing any way you like. We've always got something on the go, and hopefully people can follow my journey around Australia this year. And I'm always looking for donations, so I'll make sure Donovan's got the link to that donation as well.
All right. Now, what was the link again? For
the donation, it is Everyday Hero. And it's for a charity called Nutrition Plus. And I will make sure that, I don't know the exact name of the link, but I'll make sure you've got that. So if any listeners want that link, or you can just reach out to me on social media and I'll send it through.
And your Facebook link is?
Kristine Drummond. So Kristine with a K and Drummond, Drummond.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much, Kristine, for your time.
Thank you for having me on. It's been fun.
Yes, I'm sure that the Limitless Nation has been inspired by your story. I know that I absolutely have been amazed by your mindset, your philosophy, that you've been able to take a challenge, whether it was something that you chose or not, and you had kids and you decided to take care of them, recognizing that they were a challenge, as sometimes they always are, but getting through that, finding a way to become successful, finding out your why, realizing that there's something that encourages you to move to the next level, not only for yourself, but also for them. And now you've taken that even a step further outside of your own personal reasons for having the time management, the time skills to do whatever you want. You're now going out there and you're finding moms and you're teaching them, with giving them skills and lessons and resources so that they can then create a life of design instead of living one of default, working day in and day out for nothing meaningful. You give them an idea that they can pursue to find a purpose, and you've shared that and inspired so many people.
Oh, thank you. What an incredible wrap.
It is. It is. Until next time, this is Donovan saying, stay limitless.
Well, that's a wrap. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the word subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on learning on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donovan on what you need to do to hunt your future on every aspect of your being. This allows you to live a limitless life on every aspect of your life, starting from today's forward. Plus, you are going to receive tips and tricks on what you need to do to tackle your day, tackle your challenges on every situation, every single time. So go ahead and download it right now, and until then, stay limitless forever.